Same logo, same uniforms, same shade of paint on every wall. Walk into two locations of the same franchise and visually, you cannot tell them apart. Then one is playing local radio and the other is playing whatever the manager put on their phone that morning. There is not small inconsistency. There is your brand guideline stopping exactly at the point where sound begins. Franchise brand guidelines are usually some of the strictest documents in all of marketing. Exact logo placement, approved color codes down to the hex value, uniform specification, store layouts, diagrams, signage, dimension, everything measured, everything mandated, everything checked during the franchise audit. Then you get the sound and the guideline simply goes quiet. Music selection gets left whoever is running that particular location. One franchise streams a curated playlist they like personally, another leaves the radio on whatever local station the previous shift set it to. A third location, trying to avoid compliance either way, just runs silent. Three locations, one brand on paper, three completely different sonic experience in practice. Nobody signed off on any of those three choices. There was no meeting, no approval process, no line the franchise agreement that got violated. The gap exists purely because the guideline never said anything in the first place, so silence got filled by whoever happened to be the nearest the speaker. Here is why this matters more than it might seem from a franchise operation spreadsheet. A customer who visits two locations of the same brand is not expecting two different experiences. They are expecting the same brand twice. That expectation covers more than the logo on the door. It covers the feeling on walking in. When the sound is inconsistent, what expectation quietly breaks, even though every visual element checks out perfectly. The customer usually cannot name what fell off. They just sense that this location feels little different from the one across town, and the brain loses some of the "I know exactly what this is" that consistency was supposed to build. This is a different problem from the kind of organizational consistency we've talked about elsewhere, keeping teams and departments aligned internally. This is about what a real customer actually experiences, standing in a real physical location, and that gap sits entirely outside what most franchise guidelines currently cover. Multiply that across a chain with 50, 100, and the inconsistency stop being a quirky one-off and start being the actual, most common version of your brand that customers encounter. The flagship store with the perfectly curated soundtrack might be the exception, not the rule. The fix here is not forcing every location to play the identical playlist on a timer, ignoring whatever is actually happening in that store that day. It's building a sonic system flexible enough for real operation, a defined palette, a consistent tempo and energy range. Maybe a recurring audio cue at key moments that still gives each location room to operate normally without drifting into whatever the manager likes personally. At Dimulti Music, we think about this time same way strict visual guideline works. Boundaries clear enough to keep everyone consistent, flexible enough to actually survive daily use across dozens or hundreds of locations. That means giving local managers something they'd actually choose to use, not a restriction they quietly work around the moment corporates stop checking. A system built for real daily operation gets followed. A system built only for the audit binder gets mute the second nobody's watching. If you want to see how this fits into a full picture of brand sound consistency, we walk through a complete audit method in another video worth watching after this one. Here is a simple test if you run or oversee a franchise brand. Call 3 different locations or visit them if you can, and just listen to what's playing. If you get 3 different answers, your brand guideline is about 90% finished. It just stops one page. It just stops one page before the part your customer actually stands inside of. Sound is not a minor detail to leave to whoever happens to be running the register that day. Let's close that last page of the guideline. So every location actually sounds like the same brand, not just looks like it.